I'm Maria Trivelpiece in the Patriot League studio, and I'm joined now by NBC News correspondent and former American University field hockey player, Emilie Ikeda. Emilie, thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, of course, happy to be here.
We're very excited that you're here because we're celebrating 50 years of Title IX, and sport has been a part of your life for a very long time. So what has Title IX meant to you?
You know, it's funny, when I think about Title IX, it's kind of mind-boggling to think about when it was first introduced. Really, during the fact that it was introduced during my parents' lifetime is shocking to me, and that like female athletes for so long were really treated like second-class citizens. So to have my experience, just a matter of a few decades since Title IX's introduction, I think it's easy to forget that this really just came to be fairly recently. And so I think for me, like right off the bat, in introducing the availability of scholarships, like I wouldn't have even had the opportunity to go to so many different universities without the scholarship, an athletic scholarship. And so I think that just got my foot in the door. And obviously the schooling and training has allowed me to continue to progress in my career and help get me to where I am today.
So you mentioned scholarships, and even though you're not working in athletics now, how do you think sport has helped you in your journalism career?
Oh, I think that it impacts me every single day. And that's not even, I can't overstate that enough, is the impact of my collegiate, especially experience in sports and the woman that I am today. Like, I think, for example, there's this mantra, if you will, that I have called, be comfortable being uncomfortable. And that came directly from the mouth of my coach, Steve Jennings. And that's something that I take into almost every obstacle. Like, in moments of these intense pressure, the idea that I should be embracing that pressure, embracing the challenge, because that's how you're going to get better. And that came from my field hockey experience. And there are a number of those different lessons that are just so applicable to life beyond sports. You think about TV, I mean, you would know with live TV, the pressure is immense, and it can, like, a certain level of nerves can almost cause you to freeze up. But when you are able to embrace the challenge, it kind of switches your mindset, and it gets you excited about taking on new things and just becoming better at whatever craft you're in.
I love the phrase, be comfortable being uncomfortable. And I feel like all of the women that came before us, embraced that phrase and kind of fought for those rights of Title IX. So how grateful are you for the women that came before you?
I'm so glad that you guys are doing this like kind of moment of recognition, because I don't think it's talked about enough. The level of discomfort so many women athletes had to go through, the amount of pushback they faced, and they were able to cross this milestone. And now look at how many people the women who came before us have impacted. It's totally changed the way females are looked at within athletics and sports. And for that, I'm extremely and eternally grateful.
What responsibility do you feel like maybe you have now to continue the work that those women have done?
Oh, that's a lot of responsibility. My goodness. I think that, like, going about life with some level of recognition and gratitude, and then also kind of sharing that information with other people, it's important for young female athletes to recognize the people who came before them. And so I hope that I can encourage people to consider sports, because I've learned so much from them. And and it's not even just like the moment on the field. Like, there are so many lessons within sports beyond the game of play itself. I'm not sure how much you're familiar with my backstory, but it's a little bit complicated. I sustained like a pretty bad concussion my sophomore year, and I actually never got to the point of clearance to return to play. Yet I stayed on the team. I did, practices every morning at 6 a.m. every day. But I think that was a roller coaster of a journey and extremely difficult, but I am incredibly grateful I stayed with the team, because the continued lesson of persistence and being in that environment, again, has shaped me to who I am today. So I always encourage young women to consider playing a sport, because it has shaped who I am as a person so much.
So you would encourage young women to play a sport, but what advice would you give to young girls who are told maybe they can't do something? How would they overcome that?
A no is never an answer. I think that you can always be flexible and creative. And I think that you can certainly respect authorities' opinions and you can take them into consideration. But if there's something that you desire and that you want, there's a way that you can get it.
Well, Emilie, that does it for all of my questions. Thank you so much for joining us today. This has been incredible.
Thanks for having me.